So what happened was I thought to myself, well, if this did this to this poison ivy, I'm going to put this salve on my back and my shoulders and everything. Judy, I cannot tell you the overwhelming feeling of happiness.
Hello, welcome to Miracles of Health. It's an herbal supplement company, and I would love for you to check on my website, miraclesofhealth.com. You will find a lot of very helpful information on how to treat the body naturally and detoxify. And all of this is leading up to another aspect of something that we are so excited about that we have here at Miracles of Health. We have a brand new salve with a particular type of CBD that is loaded with terpenes. And we just finished some trial runs of it. And one of the ladies who has been a friend of mine for years and is in Pennsylvania area, closer to Pittsburgh, Elizabeth, PA, is Ginny Holiday. Now, if I ever want to test anything out on the highest quality ever, she's my go-to. Okay, Ginny has worked with people for years on a level that is, I want to say, very intense, very aggressive, but she gets to the core. She gets to the core of what the issues are on every level. And so right now, though, she is retired because she is putting all this down into books that she is pulling together. So Ginny, welcome. And anyone listening, would you please hit the like button? We would appreciate that, and subscribe so we can get information, our newsletters to you, and share from people like Ginny Holiday here. I mean, she is just a wealth of information, and we need this during these times right now. And Ginny, welcome, and I'm happy to be on and talk with you again. So you got salved up for a particular reason the other day. So I would please share your story.
Right.
This is an amazing story.
This is outstanding because I was just at my wit's end to begin with. I've had, maybe I should just mention that my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she had poison ivy the entire 9 months of her pregnancy. When I was born with it and nearly died from it. And ever since she had given birth to me, she never got poison ivy again. I was like the antidote for her. But then I lived with poison ivy constantly all year round. It could have been snow on the ground and I still contracted the poison ivy, poison oak, any kind of that stuff. And it seemed as though it wasn't just contracting the oil onto my skin from the plant that maybe I did not know that was there because I was extra cautious my whole life with it, and realized it was in my DNA. It was a part of my DNA. Well, I got into some poison ivy the other day, and needless to say, I've got some outbreaks of it, but the day before yesterday, it was off the charts with itching, and I was trying everything that I have done. Now, there is a plant which is called waterweed, and it grows, as the Bible says, wherever there's a poisonous plant, the antidote to it is within 5 feet. Well, in order for me to get to that plant, I had to subject myself to more poison ivy. So many friends who did not have allergic reactions would get this waterweed for me, and I would boil it down. Well, that was my go-to. it was not touching this dose of poison ivy that I got this past week. And it was just spreading like mad fire. There was nothing that I could do about it. And then I got my shipment from you of the new CBD salve. I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this. It wasn't 1 minute, it wasn't a half a minute. Within 10 seconds, it stopped that itching that fast. And then that was like relief just there, not being able to sleep or anything. But then after applying the salve, it's remarkable how the outbreak areas have healed over within 24 hours.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That is, Ginny, this is amazing because I know you have dealt with this for 70 some years. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And a lot of people do deal with this, but on the level you have, since it's been in the DNA, this is amazing. And I know when we talked, you're looking at what is the difference here. You know, it's the high level of terpenes.
Right. And that's what I had asked you before. I
Yeah.
said, what is, because I had tried the other salve that we had,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't touch it. This did. So
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely a difference. And that's what I said to you. What is it that's different? What is in this that is different than the other salve? And that's when we started discussing this.
Yes, it is. It's the higher level of terpenes, and the
Mhm.
terpenes that will deal with the pain, the stress, chronic conditions, down to neurological conditions. I mean, it's so alive. It is so pure. We have changed extractors. We are working with the only extractor now in the country who uses cold press, no heat whatsoever, which preserves all the terpenes, if anything, at their highest level. And the other thing is it's completely organic, the whole process, it's non-GMO. And I'm so excited about this because I know this is going to help so many more people right now. A lot of CBD extractors, companies have gone out of business. There are only a handful of farms, organic farms left that are growing the hemp. And we are associated with the company that is part of those farms. I mean, this is medicine. This is really valuable, important medicine for people to use, whether it's topically or internally.
Well, one of the things I encountered with this also
Mhm.
is it, I had the poison ivy spreading, but not only that, atmospherically, I believe that there are metals in the air right now. We're
Mhm.
dealing with a lot of heavy metals. And you and we have gone to Florida. I never burn. I just tan really, really easy, whether I'm cutting grass or just going on vacation. Well, I had already had sun exposure, not a whole lot, but I went out and I cut the grass. I had this horrible sunburn on my back that was so intense that it even scabbed. And so this is just all this is happening within a week. And so I think that I was a guinea pig for you and your salve. So what happened was I thought to myself, well, if this did this to this poison ivy, I'm going to put this salve on my back and my shoulders and everything. Judy, I cannot tell you the overwhelming feeling of happiness. My whole being, oh, I got chills all over me. My whole being just, it like lit me up and I was happy
Wow.
because times have been so so trying lately, and
Mhm.
I wasn't even thinking anything about it or nothing about that. I was more concerned about my poison ivy, and I thought, well, you know what? It stopped that itching, all this poison ivy, and I thought, let's try it on the sunburn. The skin can use some extra healing. I'll tell you, the feeling that it gave me was unbelievable. And that's when you and I had some conversations about some individuals that are really having difficult times with today's energies.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember?
Ginny. Now, since we talked about that euphoric feeling, not high, just
Right.
euphoric feeling, one of the terpenes that is very high in this whole process that we have now with our CBD is a mood stabilizer. Okay, this I studied and found out last night, like, where is this? I had the same feeling when you shared with me a while ago, take the CBD over someone's heart clockwise and rub it clockwise to calm them down, help with anxiety, help with stress. So I used this one. Oh my goodness, I felt such a difference just rubbing that on. And so since, I'm telling people put it on their feet before they go to bed and put the little socks on, maybe, just to help with that. But it is because of the specific terpenes.
Mhm.
Now, the new process that this company we're working with, extraction company in Colorado, freezes the plant to 20 degrees for about 24 hours. Then they go into their whole process. So that it's not chemical and it's not high heat, even just a little bit of heat whatsoever, none. Okay, so what's happening, it's preserving all the health and natural benefits that's in the plants that they're using. Now, there are terpenes, Ginny. You've worked with people for years to know there are terpenes in different herbs, different fruits, different vegetables. But when you're talking about how our food, how the earth, how the air is being compromised
Mhm.
with chemicals right now, having something this pure that can help us get through our day, get the pain down, help neurologically. I mean, just mentally, emotionally.
Yes, and I think that, individuals that have difficulties with, I'm going to say, their emotions to begin with,
Mhm.
um, maybe it's, and I don't know as much about, needless to say, that you do about these types of products, but it just seems like that freeze dry process may have an impact on whenever you apply it then to your body, the body's heat activates it.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I had such an
Mhm.
immediate relief
Mhm.
of that itching,
Mhm.
because it was activated to do something, which it did, is curbed all that itching that I had in that. And then it continued its process in promoting the healing of the tissue that was in, I'm gonna really distress. I was in distress, my skin was in distress.
Mhm. That, and ironically, when you were having that experience, I told you about a bug bite I got, that my thumb swelled up. It was obviously a pretty good bug bite. I immediately put the new salve on. The swelling went right down. The itching totally stopped. And I think for mosquito season, this is a really good idea. Tick season, this is a really good idea. And it's terpenes also protect plants from other animals and certain bugs eating them, aside from the ones that would pollinate and that need to, that are benefit. But I found that interesting, that certain animals in the wild will repel plants based upon the terpenes. I mean, this might sound gross, but it's like, why does our poop smell? So nobody eats it. Okay, that might be one of the reasons why, but nature, how we're designed and how it works in nature is the terpenes are also a natural, not only medicine, but the aromatic effects of it protects them from the animals taking it.
And so one of the questions that I have
Mm-hmm.
that I did not ask you is I have somebody that I still deal with, but the tremendous sinus issues. I mean, this person is never without having sinusitis. It's extreme to the point where surgery wants to be performed on this person and everything. So that's where we talked about possibly putting, because of the antihistamine,
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem with taking over the counter antihistamines because this person ended up in the emergency room taking antihistamines because it dried all the fluid up in the body and then couldn't urinate. And I'm thinking to myself, why not? So this is when I asked you, why not put what I call raccooning around the sinus cavities and see if that isn't going to help. So I definitely have to get this product to this person to use as a guinea pig, like myself.
Yeah. And I just know when we're working with whole plants, when we're working with nature's medicine holistically, it addresses things on every level, and it can help heal in that way. We all have an endocannabinoid system, okay? And 13% of the doctors trained in the world will only teach and learn this. The endocannabinoid system has been established. It's like the nervous system, the digestive system, all of our major systems. Endocannabinoid system is a known system in the brain, in the gut. We have receptors in the brain and gut that are what's called the CB1 and CB2 receptors. And this has to do with the nervous system. It has to do with levels of inflammation. And when these are blocked, when they are blocked or deficient, let's call that, when it's deficient, then we're going to have our symptoms are exasperated. And I want to just mention, I'm going to read a couple, okay? And for anybody listening too, just in case, these are some deficiencies or what's called pre-existing conditions when our endocannabinoid system is compromised. Depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, stress disorders, overweight, obese, brain injuries, migraines, history of alcohol and drug abuse, bowel disease, fibromyalgia, MS, chronic fatigue, epilepsy, autism, cancer, arthritis, celiac, and it ends by saying anybody over 60 probably should be doing this, but it makes a difference when you start bringing this a little more into balance. And don't we all need that right now?
Yeah. And the common denominator in all of those things that you mentioned is inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, this poison ivy that was so massive on my neck, I couldn't even stand to bend my head where I would have a crease because it would just start itching all the more. There was tremendous inflammation. Overnight, it's gone. It is gone. So I lathered myself up again with more of the CBD cream that, I had the new one.
Mhm.
And tremendously. I mean, I meditate, as you know, every day, and I had a tremendous meditation that I hadn't even had a chance to tell you about. So, if I may, I'd like to
Sure,
share that with
sure.
you.
Uh-huh.
And so, there is something called auricular ear therapy. And there are several points in the ear, just like there's several points on the palm of your hand, the bottoms of your feet, that ties in with every part of your body. I don't know about you, but I've had so many individuals that have had tinnitus. Some people
Yes.
call it tinnitus, but I say tinnitus. And more doctors today are saying that it doesn't have anything to do with high blood pressure. Okay. That used to be the theory,
Mhm.
but that's all shifting because so many people don't have high blood pressure that have this condition. In my meditation,
Mhm.
I was told to do auricular ear therapy with this new salve by putting, yeah, this is so great. It's
Yes,
awesome.
it is.
Okay, you never put oils directly down into the ear, anything like that. But if you put in the
Mhm.
cup of your ear,
Mhm.
if you put and rub that new salve in the cup of the ear, just rub that in, and then you do something which is a part of stimulation of the nerves
Mhm.
that's dealing with the eustachian tube. Take the middle finger only and you pull down like so. After you have that rubbed in, you pull it down and you're going to follow the clock. So it's 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You do the same thing, then 12 o'clock, then 3 o'clock. And do that like 30 times each one of those, along with, this is what is given to me, along with putting the salve on the central nervous system of the spine up into the brainstem, because this is all neurological.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm going to
Is that
implement that
great?
today. Yes.
Is that great? Yes.
So Ginny, the one of the other new salves that we just put together has castor oil in it. So that might be a good one to use even for that condition.
Well, it could, but whenever you're talking about the, well, this is going to sound really strange, but that's what
That's
we
what we
do.
do. That's what
That's
we
what we
do.
do. But this is my feeling. Okay. So when it comes to castor oil, we know it does so many different wonderful things.
Hmm. Hmm.
What I would do with the one that has the castor oil
Hmm.
is I would rub that into my belly button.
Yes.
Rub it into the belly button and do the same like the
Oh,
cup.
yes. Yeah.
Do the same
Yeah.
thing inside the belly button, because when we think about that, that is our foundation of life.
Yes.
This is where we got our nutrition, our and pumped the toxins out at a very before we had birth.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is going to be an ideal area, and just, tying that in with your patches that you
Mm-hmm.
do, the
Yes.
X39 patches,
Yes.
which is most of the time you're applying those below the belly button.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that it's around the belly button, because that is foundation of the beginning of life.
Oh gosh, I love that. And how important castor oil has been for the belly button and inflammation of the body. I
Mm-hmm.
love going back to these old time remedies. They work.
Oh, yeah.
They work. It doesn't matter. The body will have this memory in our DNA of, oh yeah, this is how nature really heals nature, what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have someone that I talked to you about that we wanted to make suppositories.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the things that we know that we don't want to heat up,
Mm-hmm.
the CBD, especially our new stuff, we don't want to heat that up to a temperature where you're destroying some of those terpenes. So I have to make sure that I'm putting that in maybe sunlight, that it can warm up the jar by itself. Okay. No matter what, I had it exposed to this sunlight, to warmer temperatures, and that new CBD doesn't get as liquefied. It gets more like a syrup.
Mm-hmm.
So it, you know, individuals that may use it for suppository reasons, I just want them to know it's not going to go down into that liquid state like the old one does,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's the terpenes. It's different.
So, since you have done colon hydrotherapy and so much for so many years, just to share with anyone listening the value of getting nutrition into that part of the body, how it gets absorbed so easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, my father had had a stroke, and every time that he had a little bit of constipation, all right, it would trigger off uncontrollable tremors, or even make him relive the stroke to some level over and over. But that's because of the nerve endings that are inside the rectum.
Mm.
There is one main artery that goes from inside our rectum around the sigmoid area that really goes straight to the brain. So there's so much that you can do with suppositories if people are unable to do things necessarily by mouth, because
Mhm.
like you said,
Mhm.
if I have some individuals that are really having a difficult time with anxiety, get like a quarter teaspoon of this new paste and just tell
Mhm.
them to take it by mouth.
Mhm.
So I have that to share with a couple people.
Well, well, I'll tell you what, obviously, whatever we're doing is helping other people. It is working for ourselves. And we can really slow down, the inflammation, the aging process, and um, continue to strengthen our systems the way we are with a lot of these natural modalities, and especially high quality terpenes, pure. It's such a gift to be able to share this with you, Jenny. And I know you touch the lives of so many people, and to be able to not everyone you can really get so excited about these natural health benefits and what it does, but it puts a smile on our heart, and it puts a smile on us that we're passing along really good quality things in life with each other.
Hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately, some people may not be open to it, and they have to wait until they get to the point of desperation.
Hmm.
And I think that mentally, we've kind of, through the generations, been trained to do it that way.
Hmm.
Instead of accepting and expecting the best, we always are geared towards thinking the worst and
Hmm.
thinking there isn't any hope.
Hmm.
But all I can tell you is my own personal experience with this stuff. And I mean, last night on the phone, we were talking, and I was like, what time was it? 9 or 10 o'clock at night, my time. And I was still bouncing off of the walls with energy.
Mhm.
So it doesn't make you sleepy or anything like that. It just brings balance. It feels like balance. And as I told you, it made me feel an overall happiness in my being.
And see, that's a difference, Ginny, between someone running on adrenaline, okay, versus this clarity that you have, the clarity of the mind and the clarity of stability. That's different than, oh, I'm so exhausted. I just, adrenaline overdrive. I just can't sleep and whatever. But I mean, we are on a mission. This is the time, and many people's light workers' time, to stay the inspirational leader of this planet, that we pass on these tidbits that could make such a difference in people's lives just today, you know?
Right. And you talk about being exhausted, and then you still have responsibilities that you have to carry out. And so when you push those adrenal glands that, hey, I need more energy because I have to get something else done. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not time to go back to bed. I'm thinking to myself, I need to modify some of the information in one of my books because of this cream. Because what I would do is what I have to say is take the CBD, the new CBD paste, and rub that on the adrenal glands because at that point of exhaustion and still expecting more from your adrenal glands, you are creating an inflammatory condition.
Which connects to hormone imbalance.
Exactly.
Okay. And that's how the endocannabinoid system really works, is bringing about more of a hormone imbalance. And this is another conversation we can have another time about what has happened to so many people that has blocked their hormone balance
Well,
to
when
even
people
produce.
think, yeah, and if you think about it, it's endocannabinoid, and then our glandular system that controls our hormones.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
that glandular system is called endocrine, and we have
Yeah,
you
right.
see how that's
Yeah,
connected. It
yeah.
really is endocannabinoid and endocrine
Good system.
system.
Yeah.
They work so well
Wow.
together.
They really do. This
Hmm.
would be an amazing product, even for any younger person who's thinking about if they're wanting to have children. There's got to be some work done with people have been so exposed to. But we'll save that for another
Yeah,
conversation
well, I
here.
just want to add one thing that I have an individual that rescued a dog that is from the abuse is not a very nice dog. I'm going to tell her she needs to get this paste, rub it on that dog's inside that ear and also on its front paw pads, which will go straight up to the brain. I'll be interested. I'll let you know on that one to see how the dog does.
Oh, that would be great. I just want to mention that, Ginny, you call it paste, we call it salve. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. And a lot of the terpenes, very interesting, have been tested originally on animal paws.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, this can really work by if you have an animal to rub it on its paws. I love that idea, even in the ears too. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean that animals, especially dogs, they do sweat from their paw pads.
mhm.
And they pant to keep themselves cool. But if the sweat glands are in their paw pads, that means we have a direct entrance point there.
I love that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Gosh, Ginny, thank you again for joining in, and we're
sure.
going to do some more, real
Yeah,
soon here. This is
yeah.
this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm retired now. You can call me anytime.
Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, let's do it.